So an improvised thought, I think I'm attempting to sort of explain introversion and extroversion in a better way. The principle which I realize is that people enjoy the thoughts that they think. So the thoughts that we think is what dictates our emotional state, our sort of physical emotion, neurobiological emotional state. Okay, the thoughts that we think. Okay, and so with introversion and extroversion, I think it is that just a scale of whether the thought, how other people affect the thoughts that you think. Okay, and whether favorable and very good thoughts for you come from other people or whether they come from yourself, and what scale of that. Now with everybody, we're all social animals, so thoughts that we think are influenced positively in everybody by other people. Now, depending on the person is to a different extent, I reckon. So for say one person, they internally may have no sort of ideas and thoughts which really stimulate them, or if they do, it may be often or almost always related to what other people are doing, plans with other people, plans to socialize, plans to meet up with other people and have our thoughts stimulated in a positive way due to other people. And then ultimately they partake in a lot of activities with other people because they know that other people are going to stimulate their thoughts in a positive way. However, with people sort of quite far on the introverted side of the spectrum, I think is simply that they have a lot of thoughts which stimulate them, okay, and put them in a favorable emotional state. They have a lot of thoughts that stimulate them, whereas people on the more extroverted side of the scale don't. But the introverts have thoughts that stimulate them, but they don't need other people to stimulate those thoughts. Right, so they are happy to spend time alone, okay, thinking, or they are happy to spend time alone and get good thoughts from books or articles or podcasts, this sort of thing. But they don't need other people to get those good thoughts, right? And to put them in that preferable emotional state that we all seek. Okay, so naturally you'll find that as a result of that, the behavior of introverts comes to what's typically known. They talk to people less. They spend more time alone, and often that can be perceived as shy. It's just reluctant to talk to another person in any. It could be in any given moment a certain reluctance to talk to another person because you are in an emotional state where you feel that another person's input would actually ruin that and make it worse, and that you don't think another person's social input is going to sort of increase your emotional state. But extroverts is different, where they, most of the time when they're alone or whatever, their emotional state from their own thoughts that they create isn't such that they'd rather be in that state. They'd rather be elevated by social interaction. Everyone is like that to some extent. Everyone is like both of these to some extent. It's just the proportions that different people are in, which causes this scale of introversion and extroversion. So it results in various behavioral patterns where heavy extroverts towards the extroverted scale where they partake in behaviors which look like them going out a lot to clubbing, parties, meeting people a lot, and simultaneously together sharing their extroversion, sharing their joy of improving and bettering each other's thoughts with their input. And then so that could be typical extrovert behavior. and sort of wanting to have frequent conversations, right? That's pretty much what it is. Then typical introvert behavior, reading, just sort of being alone online, obviously going out, meeting in small groups with people, whereas you know these people are going to be a stimulating conversation. So in a way, introverts have the benefit where they don't need so often extroverts to they don't need other people so often to put them in a preferable emotional state. Now, the reason why is perceived, just from that, you may perceive that introverts should have it, always better off than extroverts. You'd think, hey, there's no really real benefit of being an extrovert. It requires more energy to achieve the same emotional state. Where's the benefit in that? But really, the ultimate benefit is that introverts oftentimes, because they don't want to put themselves in a less satisfying, less comfortable, less preferable emotional state by socially interacting, they make less friends. They have less social connections. There's less things to do. So you often find at times when they do want to put themselves in that state, right, and they do want to feel that, because most people, everyone really does to some degree, they would have had not enough connections to make that happen all the time, which is why you get those sort of people who are very depressed because of lack of friends or whatever. And yeah, I think that's my sort of improvised explanation of a concept that I sort of thought up. Right, cool.